Welcome to Bootcampverse, your universe of tech bootcamps. Good morning, and welcome back to Day 7 of our Code2Corporate Bootcamp. If you've been with us since the start, you're making fantastic progress. Yesterday, we explored how Jira and Agile boards help you track and organize the work that needs to be done in a real-world software team. Today, we're diving into the place where the magic actually happens, the Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, and essential debugging tools that every developer needs. Think of Jira as your team's to-do list, and the IDE as your personal workshop where you actually build, test, and fix what's on that list. Let's start with the basics. What is an IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Imagine you're building a piece of furniture. An IDE is like having a super tool bench. It has everything you need in one place. Tools for cutting, measuring, assembling, and even checking your work for mistakes. In software, an IDE is an application that gives you all the tools you need to write, test, and debug code without having to juggle a dozen separate programs. At its core, every IDE includes three main components. First, a code editor, a smart notepad designed for programming. It helps you write code more efficiently with the features like syntax highlighting, which colors different parts of your code so you can spot errors easily. It also offers autocompletion, suggesting how to finish what you're typing, and code formatting that keeps your code neat and readable. Second, build automation tools. These help you run or compile your code with just a click instead of using complicated commands. Third, a debugger, your detective toolkit for finding and fixing errors in your code. Why use an IDE? Simply put, it boosts your productivity. Features like autocompletion and error highlighting help you code faster and make fewer mistakes. The workflow is streamlined because everything, editing, running, debugging, even using version control like Git, is available in one place. With built-in tools for code analysis, you can spot issues before they become big problems. And when it comes to debugging, integrated debuggers make tracking down bugs much more efficient than old-school print statements. Now, you might wonder, how is an IDE different from a regular text editor like Notepad? A text editor is like a basic notebook. You can write code, but you're on your own for running it, debugging, or getting any help. An IDE, on the other hand, is designed specifically for coding, with tons of built-in features that make your life easier. Let's get hands-on with some popular IDEs you'll likely encounter as a developer. The first, and probably the most popular for beginners and pros alike, is Visual Studio Code, or VS Code. VS Code is free, lightweight, and works with just about any programming language you can think of. When you open VS Code, you'll see a file explorer on the left, your main editor area in the center, and an integrated terminal at the bottom. Syntax highlighting makes your code more readable, while autocompletion, called IntelliSense, suggests code as you type. You can customize VS Code with thousands of extensions, adding support for new languages, themes, and tools. This flexibility is a big reason why so many developers love it. Next, let's look at Eclipse. Eclipse is an open-source IDE that's especially popular for Java development, though it supports other languages too. The workspace concept in Eclipse helps you manage multiple projects at once. The Project Explorer makes it easy to see your files and folders, and powerful refactoring tools help you clean up your code. Many large companies use Eclipse because it handles big projects well and integrates with enterprise tools. As a bonus, let's introduce Postman. While it's not technically an IDE, Postman is a must-have tool for anyone working with APIs. With Postman, you can quickly send GET or POST requests to an API endpoint and inspect the response, status codes, response body, and more. You can even organize requests into collections, which is super helpful for testing and documenting your APIs. There are many other IDEs out there. PyCharm for Python, IntelliJ IDEA for Java, Visual Studio for .NET, and C++. Your choice of IDE often depends on the programming language you're using and your personal preferences. The key is to pick one and get comfortable with it, as you'll spend a lot of time here as a developer. Let's shift gears to debugging, one of the most important skills in your developer toolkit. Debugging is simply the process of finding and fixing errors or bugs in your code. Why is this so essential? No matter how careful you are, every piece of software will have bugs at some point. Knowing how to efficiently find and fix them saves you time, makes your code more reliable, and is a mark of a skilled developer. There are a few types of errors you'll encounter. Syntax errors happen when your code breaks the rules of the language, like forgetting a semicolon or misspelling a keyword. IDEs usually highlight these instantly. Logic errors are trickier. Your code runs, but it doesn't do what you intended. These require careful debugging to spot. Runtime errors occur while your program is running. Maybe you try to divide by 0 or access something that doesn't exist. These errors will often show up as error messages or crashes. How do you actually debug? This is where the power of IDEs really shines. Most modern IDEs come with integrated debuggers. The first tool you'll use is a breakpoint, a marker you set in your code to tell the program, pause here. When execution hits a breakpoint, the IDE freezes the program so you can inspect what's happening. You can then step through your code line by line. Step over lets you run the current line and move to the next. Step into dives into a function call to see what's happening inside. Step out finishes the current function and returns to where it was called. You can also watch variables, track how their values change as your code executes. The call stack shows you the chain of function calls that led to the current point, which can be crucial for tracking down where things went wrong. And of course, you can always use print statements like console to log in JavaScript or print in Python to output the values of variables or messages to the terminal. This is quick and simple, though integrated debuggers are usually more powerful for complex issues. Error messages are your friends. Don't ignore them. Take time to read and understand what they're telling you. Often the message will point you directly to the problem, or at least give you a clue about where to look. Let's connect this back to your workflow as a developer. You use an IDE to write the code for tasks tracked in Jira. When a bug is reported in a Jira ticket, you reproduce the issue, debug it using your IDE's tools, and then update the ticket once it's fixed. The integrated terminal in your IDE is also where you run Git commands for version control or execute your application. To wrap up, IDEs are your productivity powerhouse, and debugging is an essential skill every developer needs. Today, you learned about key tools like VS Code, Eclipse, and Postman, and how debugging helps you deliver better, more reliable software. Tomorrow, we'll start getting into the code itself, beginning with the basics of web development. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is where you'll put your IDE and debugging skills into action. Your action item for today: download and install a free IDE like VS Code. Try running a simple Hello World program in your favorite language and set a breakpoint to step through your code. The best way to learn is by doing. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Drop them in the comments or join our discussion forum. Thank you for your participation and energy this morning. Don't forget to subscribe to Bootcampverse for more real-world learning that takes you from zero to job ready.